All right, guys, we're gonna get into some dry fire work here. Starting real basic, nothing crazy outside the box. Simply gonna go over some stuff because a lot of people are kind of unsure of what it means to actually dry fire, and especially in the law enforcement community. Okay, why? Probably because it's not taught. Dry fire is not taught at all, and it's barely talked about. So just to give you an idea, most police officers, when they think of dry fire, they think of simply pressing the trigger, keeping my sight steady, bang, and then they reset, and then they just do this over and over and over again. And that's all they're doing, is just pressing the trigger, trying not to move their sight, and that's their extent of dry fire knowledge. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna get some very basic stuff. Okay, let's talk about the presentation of the gun. Find your sights on the presentation. That's the first thing we're gonna work on. Okay, for everyone, I hope everyone's using a red dot at this point in time. If you're still using iron sights, definitely catch up. But I'll get to the iron sights here in a second. For red dot shooters, obviously we want to remain target focused throughout the entire time. Simply what you're doing is bringing your gun into what we call this compressed ready or index position, both hands on the gun. And initially what you're focusing on here is getting the sight to the point on the target where your eyes are looking. Okay, very simple. I'm going to stare at my target. I'm going to fucking burn a hole in a very small point in my target with my eyeballs, and all I simply want to do is present the gun, and I want my sights to land exactly on that point where I was looking at. Okay, come back in, and again, do it again. Sights lined up with my point of aim. Good. Now, obviously, if they're off or something like that, that's where you need to fix your presentation. Okay. If they're off to the left or the right, a lot of times that has to do with your grip, on how you're gripping the gun. If they're off typically up or down, that has a lot to do with your presentation or anything like that, when you're coming in, your fucking wrist or too far down or up, or one way or the other. Okay, so this is the focus on. You're building, again, that muscle memory, if you will, on what your presentation should be like. Okay, so again, hard focus on the target and simply bringing the gun into your line of sight. Does that dot land exactly where you were looking at? And just do this over and over. Be honest with yourself while you're doing so. Okay, you are learning the visual process of this. Look at a sight on the target, bring my sights up, my gun up into my line of sight, and have that dot go exactly where I'm looking at. Good to go. Easy, step one. Okay, guys, we're gonna build on that a little farther. Okay, I was talking about simply bringing the gun to your line of sight and your sighting system to your line of sight, presenting it on the target. Good to go. From here, once you have consistently brought that sighting system to your point of reference on the target, okay, start to speed up the process a little bit. Okay, start out slow, be consistent with it. Nothing wrong there. Okay, easy, but be consistent. And as you get better and better at this is where you obviously want to speed up the process. Okay, from here, speed up the process on how fast you can bring the gun from point A to point B while still maintaining and finding a good sight picture. Okay, again, be honest with yourself. Be 100% accountable on where your sights are landing on the target. Okay, if they are off or something like that, hey, start over or get another rep in. That's a bad rep. Throw it out. Do another. Okay. Again, you can do this for time. You can do this for a specific amount of reps, whatever the case may be, but make sure your reps are good and consistent. That is the biggest thing you're looking for, is consistency and repeatability in this process. Good to go.